Get ready for a glimpse into the heart of a singer-songwriter, where the journey matters as much as the music. Let's uncover the heart behind the art. Hey everyone, my name is Rob Aguiar, and this is the Glimpse into the Heart of a Singer-Songwriter interview series, and today we're in conversation with one of Canada's fastest rising independent artists. She's been a whole bunch of things. She's been a nationally ranked sprint hurdler, the chief medical director of Pulsar UV Inc., helping the film industry navigate pandemic stresses. She's been a 3-time CMA Ontario nominee, a Factor Canada grant recipient, and a Sirius XM Top of the Country finalist. She's a relentless hard worker, the ultimate do-it-yourselfer. She's got her boots back on with some new music, some videos, some collaborations on the horizon. Kelsi, Mayne, and the Mayne train is back, on track, and moving full steam ahead. Kelsi, thank you so much for taking the time to share a little glimpse into your heart as a singer-songwriter. So excited to be able to pick your brain about lyrics and songwriting and your journey as a whole. All right, let's dive right in. Kelsi, what typically inspires your songwriting, and how do you channel those inspirations into your music? Do you have a specific routine, and does it vary from song to song?
Thanks for having me, Rob. I am so happy to be here. So what inspires your songwriting? You know what? I could tell you for every song that I have a different source of inspiration. So About Time, that was a news title article. Surrender, I had my girlfriend say, I have to surrender the keys at this certain time, and then that's the last thing that I heard as I was heading to the right. Another song I just wrote called Head to Texas, that was inspired by dancing with the guy from Texas the night before. So you literally get them everywhere. Living life experiences that I've gone through. Unfortunately, this year I've had a lot of heartbreak, but fortunately for my music, I now have things to talk about and things that I want to say. No, I don't have a specific routine though. I usually just get my ideas from driving or just existing. And sometimes it's listening to other music.
Kelsi, I read in one of your recent social media posts that you say that your new music has never been more honest, real, and raw. And that's the vulnerability I like to talk about. What role does vulnerability play in the creation of your lyrics? And how do you balance authenticity and creating content that resonates with a wider audience?
It's huge. Literally, you go into a room and you share your deepest, darkest things that you've been holding so close to yourself, sometimes with complete strangers. And you're telling them everything about your life. And it is free therapy, but it's very exposing, and it's hard to allow yourself to be vulnerable like that with a complete stranger especially. And then releasing that into the world is also another scary thing too, obviously. You don't know what people are going to think of it. But one thing I'm not really concerned about is it resonating with people, because I feel like if you are true to yourself and your message and you're sharing that with the world, your audience is going to know it and they're going to find a way to relate to it. That's one thing that I've learned is a lot of the songs that I've written, I'll get people that come up to me after and say that they relate to it in a completely different way than I had intended it, which is the coolest thing about being a songwriter, is because you'll get surprised by that all the time, and that never gets old. And I love hearing how people relate to my songs in different ways.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit here, Kelsi. How has your personal journey influenced the evolution of your music? I mean, has there been specific moments in your life, moments of growth, that have reshaped the way you approach songwriting?
Well, this year has been a journey for sure. I feel like I've lived like an entire lifetime in this 1 year alone. I was supposed to get married this year, called off my wedding, moved out. My best friend's brother passed away the next week, and then the week after that, my grandmother passed away, and then the very next day I had to perform one of the biggest shows of my life, opening for Russell Dickerson at Caesars Windsor Coliseum. So I feel like I've grown a lot in a short amount of time, and my songwriting has definitely jumped tenfold. I think it's just because I have a lot to say now. Has it reshaped the way I approach songwriting? It absolutely has. I feel like now that I've lived, I can truly say that I've lived life. I've lived through all of the experiences. I want to release songs that actually have meaning, you know, songs that actually serve a purpose. I want to put out stuff that you feel. If it's not a song that in 10 years time people are gonna probably forget about, I don't want to do it. I don't want to release it. So that's the kind of thoughts that are motivating my songwriting now these days.
In talking with so many artists over the past year, no matter what type of art, one thing is for sure, creative fog is a real thing. And how do you handle moments of self-doubt or uncertainty, writer's block, things like that during your songwriting process? And what helps you get through those challenges?
You have to constantly remind yourself of the things that you've done in your life and what you've accomplished. Try to remind myself, you know, I've played Boots and Hearts, Cavendish Beach Music Festival, Calgary Stampede. You know, everyone gets stuck. Everyone's human, and you are human. Whenever I get either intimidated by someone in the room with me that is far more experienced than I am, I remind myself that they were in my shoes at one point too. So that kind of like humanizes them and brings them down to my level. And a lot of those times I can think of very specific moments where I held my own in a songwrite. And even Patricia Conroy, you know, I've written with her quite a few times now, and she's like one of my all-time idols. She can be intimidating, and she's a bulldozer. When she gets into a room, she controls the room. And I've kind of fought with her on some ideas and like pushed back on stuff, and she told me after the write, I was like she's never gonna write with me again. But she told me, she was like, Kelsi, I give you a lot of credit because a lot of people just let me run the show, and then the whole song she ends up writing up by herself. But because I pushed back, she's like, no, like a lot of your ideas were really good, and I'm glad you fought for them. So yeah, it's kind of cool getting some validation like that. And then recently I had Luke Combs' producer Chip Matthews reach out to me, and he just kind of said, you know, you got all the makings, and you keep it up, and maybe one day we can work together. So it's just like, it's really cool to get those little things of verification every once in a while. And I try to hold on to those and remember those as often as I can whenever I have those thoughts of self-doubt. Help me in the process. I've gone for walks around the block. You come back, washroom breaks. Sometimes you'll get ideas in the washroom. Never pee so much than when I'm in a write. And you can also taking a shower, going for a drive, those sorts of things. Sometimes just sitting by yourself and working things out. Sometimes it's hard when you're in a room with other people. I wrote a song Out of the Blue with Spencer Burns. We wrote the first verse and chorus together, called it a day. And then the next couple weeks I was mulling over ideas for the verse, and I had to go for a little drive and get some ideas that way. And I went to a cottage, and I just kind of sat there by myself and just kind of played around, and I got the bridge from the car ride and the verse from sitting at the cottage. So sometimes you need some time with it, and that's okay.
Kelsi, for the final question, I want to ask you about specific songs or lyrics that you feel have captured the essence of who you are as an artist. Is there one that holds a deep personal meaning, and what's the story behind it?
I feel like it's our job as songwriters and artists to share messages that are important to us. So I had this song idea that was kind of like the song Humble and Kind, where it's just a bunch of words of advice, but I wanted to give some words of advice on behalf of a broken heart. and to kind of say like what not to do. And like, for the love of God, what not to do. Just felt like if I got that message out to the world, and if there's a slight chance that that helps to prevent one broken heart in the world, then this song has served its purpose. So this song is called Someone Who Knows.
Better be sure to get your 8 hours of sleep. If you give 'em room, boy, you better earn your keep. Always give more than you take. Don't put more on your plate than you can eat. You can take your time, but don't take it for granted. Things are beautiful even when they're damaged. Two wrongs don't make a right. Sometimes life don't turn out the way you planned it. And if you're gonna make a promise, better keep it. If you're gonna say those 3 words, better be damn sure that you mean it. And if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And if you're gonna take heart, hold it tight and don't let go. Take it from someone who knows. Always fill your tank before you go and hit the gas. If you need some help, don't be afraid to ask. Learn to walk before you run. Always stop and smell the roses as they pass. And if you're gonna make a promise, better keep it. If you're gonna say those 3 words, better be damn sure that you mean it. And if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And if you're gonna take heart, hold it tight and don't let go. Take it from someone who knows. And if you're gonna make a promise, better keep it. And if you're gonna say those 3 words, better be damn sure that you mean it. And if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't you dare say it out. And if you're gonna take heart, hold it tight and don't let go. Take it from someone who knows. Take it from someone who knows.
Kelsi, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to get on board the Mayne train and getting a little glimpse into who you are as an artist. Having the opportunity to connect with you and adding your heart to this series has been a true honor for me, and I want to thank you.
Glimpse Productions, thank you so much for having me, letting me share some of my thoughts and my heart with you, and we'll see you soon.
That's it for this segment of Glimpse into the Heart of a Singer-Songwriter. A big thanks to our sponsors and supporters for their generosity. Support the music. Like, share, and subscribe for more incredible interviews coming soon.